Good morning. Good morning. It's 4:30 in the morning, I think. And I'm thinking about you. And I want to teach you some of the most important stuff. This is the most important stuff. This right here. And it's this is the Jesus storybook. Every Story Whispers His Name Bible. And I opened it up and it happens to be about Jacob. So that's my name. And it's a beautiful Christian name. And hopefully someday you can have a Christian name, like all your ancestors on both sides of your family. So this one's called The Forgiving Prince. All right, do you see the picture? Who is this guy in this coat? Okay. All right, this one doesn't have a lot of different stuff to look at, so you'll have to just check out all of his coats and all these guys back here. It says, Jacob had 12 sons, but all of his sons, Joseph was his favorite. One day, Jacob gave Joseph a splendid new robe. It was beautiful and rich with all the colors of the rainbow, but it made Joseph's brothers jealous. They wanted rich rainbow robes too. Then, to make matters worse, you have to be very careful about being jealous. It's one of the worst things to be. It's one of the worst. Then, to make matters worse, Joseph kept having these special dreams. I dreamed I was the greatest. I was king, Joseph told his brothers, and all you bowed down to me. Now, I'm sure you know even Joseph didn't. That telling your brothers things like that is... I'm sure you know, even if Joseph didn't, that telling your brothers things like that isn't a very good idea. Joseph's brothers hated him even more. They wanted to kill Joseph and his dreams. And one day, that's exactly what they tried to do. They tore Joseph's rainbow robe off of him and sold him to slave traders for 20 pieces of silver. The traders took Joseph to Egypt and made him into... Oh, can you see the pictures? That's Joseph as a slave. And it's the palm trees and the birdie. And what's that? Is that a lizard? It's a little lizard. Oh no, there he is. He's a slave. He's in jail. Oh man. The traders took Joseph to Egypt and made him into a slave. The brothers went home and lied to their father, telling him that Joseph was dead. That's the end of that dreamer, they thought, but they were wrong. God had a magnificent dream for Joseph's life, and even when he looked like everything had gone wrong, God would use it all to help make the dream come true. God would use everything that was happening to Joseph to do something good. Meanwhile, though things were not looking good for Joseph in Egypt, he was far from home, from his dad, and then he got blamed for something he didn't do. And even though he had done nothing wrong, he was punished and thrown in jail. But God had not left Joseph. There we go. There's the cows and everything. And there's the evil Egypt king that had all these slaves. All the Egyptians had lots of slaves. So the Christian people, they used to live in Egypt, and then they were led out of Egypt and out of slavery. So that's kind of the story behind it. One night, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, had a scary dream about thin cows gobbling up fat cows. What on earth did it mean? He didn't know, but Joseph was a dream expert, so Pharaoh sent for him. It means a famine is coming, Joseph explained. There won't be enough to eat. Pharaoh was so pleased by Joseph's skill that he immediately took Joseph out of jail and made him a prince. Now back home, Joseph's brothers had run out of food and everyone was hungry. God's special family was in danger. If they didn't get food soon, they would starve to death. So Joseph's brothers traveled to Egypt to buy food. They came and knelt before the new prince. His brothers didn't know that the prince was Joseph, but Joseph knew who they were. Joseph's dream, the one about his brothers bowing down to him, was coming true. "It's me," Joseph cried. And when they saw it was Joseph, his brothers were afraid. They had wronged Joseph. They had sinned, and they knew it. Now Joseph would certainly punish them. But Joseph looked at his brothers, and his eyes filled with tears. Even though his brothers had hurt him and hated him and wanted him dead, in spite of everything, he couldn't stop loving them. His heart, which had been broken, filled up with love, and Joseph forgave them. Joseph threw his arms around them. "Don't be afraid," he said. Can you see the pictures? I like these pictures. I think they're really... I like whoever illustrated this book. It's really neat. Let's see who illustrated it. Illustrated by Jacob. What a wonderful artist. Look at these pictures. Look at this picture of Jesus. Isn't that a wonderful picture? I think it's cool. I think it's very neat. I think it's very, very neat. I like it. Joseph didn't punish them. He rescued them. He brought God's special family to live safely with him in Egypt. One day, God would send another prince, a young prince whose heart would break, like Joseph. He would leave his home and his father's. His brothers would hate him and want him dead. He would be sold for pieces of silver. He would be punished even though he had done nothing wrong. But God would use everything that happened to this young prince, even the bad things, to do something good, to forgive the sins of the whole world. That prince is Jesus. That prince is Jesus the Christ. All right. I hope you have a great day. I'm thinking about you.